Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the Minnesota Vikings, led by their new quarterback Kirk Cousins, go head-to-head against Aaron Rodgers in the Green Bay Packers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
This place first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. We all know this community lives for its Packers, and the green and gold came out of the tunnel a short time ago, and it was loud. We are ready for football, so are they, as the Packers get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. They've been buoyed by getting 2 home games right at the start, and they come off a good victory in Week 1.
And the offense, my goodness, over 50 points in the win last weekend. When you do that, you're not going to lose very many games, maybe not any games.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
This is taken at his 4. Get up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by their big offseason signing from Michigan State in his 7th year. It's the veteran Kirk Cousins.
I do hear some mild criticism of Kirk Cousins and his play the last few seasons in Washington, mainly because the team was just 24-23-1. But I also saw a quarterback with an offensive line that essentially introduced itself to each other in the huddle before the first snap in Seattle against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Win that game with big plays late. This is a tough-minded, hard-nosed, gritty quarterback. It tends to inspire a team to play better around him.
They run, Cook, and they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Tackle made there by Nick Perry. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
The Vikings' top 2 receivers match up with any pair in the NFL, and I'm talking about Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. And how about this? Both underdog success stories. Diggs, a 5th-rounder in 2015. Adam Thielen, undrafted in 2014. Now they're helping set the pace for wide receivers in the league.
Play action now. Cousins throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Kendall Wright, the intended target, and it's 3rd down. We'll take a look at the starters here defensively for the Packers. They put together a strong effort last week in the win over the Bears, CD.
Have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw. They ended up getting 4 sacks in the game, stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire time, made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield.
And that's what they told us this week, that pressure on the QB is key. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. It'll be Aaron Rodgers under center, who was drafted by the Packers back in 2005 in the 1st round, now in his 14th year with Green Bay.
And a case can be made that Aaron Rodgers is changing the way you play quarterback in the NFL. Instead of just precision and timing, he's able to take a play and extend it even when it doesn't need to be, and go for the bigger play downfield rather than short, easy, effective throw.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Now Rodgers throwing on second down. Buying time to his left. Caught on the right side by Adams. The numbers for Adams in last week's game. He took out some anger, some apparent anger against that defense. The yards just kept going up and up and up.
Yeah, he was just running up and down the field doing whatever he wanted. By the end of the game, he was seeing 2, sometimes 3 defenders on every snap. Yet he was still making play after play. It was like he was running routes versus air in practice.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserve, a gain of 3, second down. This is how they will line it up defensively for Minnesota. This unit, 3rd best in the NFL in stopping the run.
We know it's only week 1, but the results look pretty good so far. The key is, can they do it week in and week out? Because right now, they're not awarding any championships or trophies after 1 week of performance. Got some nice young faces playing for them. Let's see if they can get this going.
That's fine. Yeah.
On second down, Williams runs through the contact, and he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go. And now the clock will stop as he's able to get up and spike it here. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Well, not good at all. Punt of just 24 yards there. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
So we'll look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. The 6-time Pro Bowler, Clay Matthews. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 from back at their own 10-yard line. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. Oh, he sheds himself free. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Relatively small sample size, but that's his longest run of the first quarter. Bounced it out to the outside to make it successful.
And to get there, you actually need some help. It's not just your pure speed getting to the corner, making sure that the blocking is taken care of inside so the pursuit doesn't get you. And oftentimes, those wide receivers, tight ends that might be flexed out, they've got to control the edge and make sure no one from the outside can spill the play before he gets there.
On 1st down, Rodgers. Flush to his right. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
Dancing to his left. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
The first red zone opportunity now for the Packers. They've got a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
To throw is Rodgers. And that's incomplete.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. This will be play number 8 on the drive. It's 3rd and goal. Now it's Rodgers, forced out to his left. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Devontae Adams, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers have taken the early lead. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored in opening weekend are going to hold, up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
You think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt, because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
Crosby on now to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And now out comes Minnesota. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum? And when the defense wins and gives up no yardage on a running play, that's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
On second down, Cook. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. Now Cousins throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. A tough challenge here in this one. We'll see if he can duplicate the numbers on your screen that he put up last week, up over 100 and a touchdown.
We were watching tape to prepare for this game. One thing you noted that I totally agree with, great complementary piece in the last game. You know, they're able to throw it pretty well. He ran it exceptionally, and they hope to continue that same formula in this game.
Complimentary with an E, not an I.
That's my English teacher right there.
He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries.
Touchdown, Packers! 2 touchdown passes now here in this first quarter for Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers are able to strike quickly for 6. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Crosby on now to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. That was second down run for Murray. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And this is going to be incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. And that one hits a little too close to the end zone for a touchback. Aaron Rodgers, he's getting ready to go again here on offense. A big reason why they've been so successful, this defense hasn't been able to contain him when he gets outside of the pocket.
So true, and that's when it's really difficult because defensively you can have a game plan and trying to account for all the things you've seen on tape, the way that they run their plays, even his running. But when it's a play where you just can't really say, okay, that's how the play's supposed to go, what they call broken plays, that's when the X and O doesn't work. That's when their Jimmy is better than your Joe.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They begin the drive with Williams. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. And what in the world? Not sure if he just heard a whistle there or what, but for some reason he spiked the football.
Let's get off the field.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Emerson Griffin coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. Cousins on 1st down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense, because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
On 1st down, Murray. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played. When you think of Mike Daniels, you think of strength. Hard to knock off the football, but surprising quickness and ability to move and evade people. How about that play there?
Well, he can squat 600 pounds, so that's how he caught people's attention coming into the league, and he caught up trying for White, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jones. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
Rodgers going to throw. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Well, not that we had any questions, but it's obvious his arm does not hurt today, does it? He does not mind slinging it around.
He is firing that pigskin around the yard.
Yeah, putting it deep downfield, taking shots. Unsuccessful there, but I like his moxie.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. Steps away to his left. And Adams has it. Complete. 2 touchdowns for him already in this first half. This one good for a first down. You know, he's already thrown for more yardage in this first quarter than he did all of last week.
And I could be snarky here and say, well, he didn't throw for a lot of yards last week, but the bottom line is he put in a great week of practice and really came out ready to go in this one.
They'll run it with Williams. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. The tackle made there by Linval Joseph.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now a handoff. Here's Williams. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating him up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Open man right side is St. Brown. Touchdown, Packers. Equanimous St. Brown. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. So that's the rookie's first trip to the end zone, and I think it's safe to say one he'll always remember.
Oh, without a doubt. That one is going to be imprinted forever. And nowadays, we're seeing rookies make a greater impact at that position at receiver than ever before. I think mainly because of the sheer volume of footballs that they catch in college.
Crosby on now to kick it away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And now out comes Minnesota. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The numbers a week ago for Cook. 20 carries, 65 yards.
And we all know he had a big workload last week, so I'm eager to see if they decide to back him off a little bit. Personally, I hand it to him 20-plus times again. When a running back's locked in like he is, I want him to keep touching the football.
We were just talking about him pregame. 3 tackles for a loss last week. You thought he looked so explosive on film. Starting off good there. Another one in the first quarter.
He's every bit of what you described. And I don't want to make it too simplistic, but right now for him, it's see ball, get ball.
Packer pressure, and down he goes.
The competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback in those times. Had about 5 sacks last week. We just saw their first one of this game.
Here's Jackson. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they have to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory. Why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Rodgers to throw on second down. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Taken from just outside the 30. Call it an even 40-yard punt. 7, though, on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Cousins. And it's a fumble. And this is going to be Packer football. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, When they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them. Big tackle, knock the ball free. Anything you can do to slow them down.
Oh, now he'll try and chuck it deep left side. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. Now whistles as time has run out on this first quarter. 21-0 our score. We're back to Lambeau in just a moment.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out.
That's fine. Yeah.
On the ground, this is Williams. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult third down call now.
Throwing is Rodgers, being chased out left. Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
He had the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty trip downfield there as they get a missed field goal on 4th down.
And I didn't see anything in the setup. It's a good snap, good hold.
Yep.
He just pushed it, and that one never wanted to come back.
They start the drive with Cook, and he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Muhammad Wilkerson elevated a tempo program that was looking for players like him, and he's carried that on into the NFL. What a terrific play there.
Yeah, a nice tackle for loss for the former Temple Owl, as you said, and the 30th pick in the 2011 draft. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. The Vikings on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Throwing, Cousins. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Sometimes it's just not your dead. Here's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here's Ryan Quigley now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at the 20. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. It's caught outright by Graham. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
On 3rd down, here's Williams. And the athleticism on the spin move allows him to pick up the first before he's brought down. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Now Rodgers on the bootleg. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's second down. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more.
One of my favorite safeties in the league is Harrison Smith. His ability to support in the run game, as we just saw there, that's key, but also can cover deep as well.
On third and long, it's Rodgers. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's fourth down.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you got a chance to come back to him when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
There's still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. And it's Clinton Dix with a pick. Shreds him with a stiff arm. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this be who you are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
Only a yard that time, second and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
Rodgers now to throw. Flushed out right. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Linval Joseph coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9.
Well, this defensive unit certainly picked a great time to make a stand. Back-to-back sacks, starting with first and goal. I have to believe that they'll continue to bring the pressure on third down.
And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up fourth.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground. Now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Intercepted, holding them to a field goal.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people. Lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
So this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Now a play fake here on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Morgan. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing is Cousins. And complete. Right side, the tight end Rudolph. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
They go play action here on first down. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Montrevious Adams in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, they're still in. And he's going to go down again. Clay Matthews in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Off the play fake, Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is third down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And this is incomplete. There to knock that one away defensively, Eric Kendricks.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Now carry number 20 of the game. Here's Williams. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it third down and less than a yard.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big pickup, and guess what? It's now third and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was third and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit.
Through an opening, and there he goes. 20, 10, touchdown, Packers. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Packers are pouring it on. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Here's Stephon Diggs as he and the rest of the offense get ready to go again. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far. Now a second down throw for Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's got the 1st down yardage before being taken down at midfield. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a 1st down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. 1st and 5. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
Well, they didn't really have to earn that 1st down, did they?
Well, they're not having to earn much, are they? Back-to-back penalties. First was 1st and 5, and now they give them a 1st down.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Cook following the penalty. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. The Pro Bowler, Muhammad Wilkerson, brings him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So step off the 5 yards.
Yeah, partner, you know, defensive end, he wants to get into the offensive backfield. He wants that get off to be as fast as possible. A little too quick on that one.
2nd down, Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily, rush coming, and he's taken down.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. Might he be on his way to a record-setting performance here, Charles? 2nd quarter, and the yardage number already ridiculous.
And they always talk about just focusing on the next play. But sometimes it's okay to dream big because
I'm focusing on the 4th quarter already.
Listen, I don't blame you, though, because we could be witnessing some type of history here, and it's being done by him and, of course, the big guys up front who are creating the holes for him to run through.
Yeah, they've all been good so far. And here's Rodgers, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Daniil Hunter coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 12.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up, back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle.
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find.
And it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Well, no, I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. Now Jones. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Marching back onto the field now, Davante Adams and company getting set to go. We're in the second quarter. He already has 2 touchdowns. We know how good he is. That's well documented. How do you contain him?
We know he's a nightmare. So in this situation, I would go ahead and double him. Maybe even have a third person in the area and try and dissuade them from throwing him the football. Make someone else beat me for a while, because I don't know that their talents are his. Because when he gets his hands on the ball, he breaks down my entire D. Someone else, they may not make the same type of a play.
Well, we know his talents are very good. Now Rodgers throwing on second down. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And able to get this one across the 45 before all pros connecting. Rodgers fighting his tight end, Graham. Packer first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game, because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
Williams. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Called it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On play action, Rodgers. He's going to let this go deep, back over the middle. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down. Well, he's been the guy. Already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
And now out comes Minnesota. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
That's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit. We're not even at halftime.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes Davante Adams in the offense for their next drive. He's the star wide receiver, and he's doing his thing so far here into the second quarter.
And how you get distinguished as a star is each and every week performing to a high level no matter what they throw at you, because you always want to take him out of the game if you're a defensive team. How do you press him, double him, triple him, all those things? But the best players show up each and every week, solid games and some spectacular ones.
And he has showed up time and time again.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
To throw is Rodgers. On 3rd down. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. A reminder coming up at halftime, the coach is back. He made it through the first weekend. That's the good news, and he's going to regale you with stats and scores from around the NFL here in the early games in Week 2.
You think he questioned coming back for Week 2, having to work with us?
I think he did. He's just happy that he is far away in Orlando. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. Buying time to his left. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. 23 yards on the play.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Now Williams. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. You got a nice lead. You should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
It looked a little bit off. You expect more leg out of him, but he did get it to go.
But you and I both know sometimes depending on the angle, they may take a little bit off of the kick in order to make sure that they line it up properly and bring it home through the posts.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
A 2nd down throw for Cousins. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's Rodgers. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. A final shot before half for Rodgers. On the run, he'll let this go. And it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal forward pass. Offense.
Hang on here. They declined that. So the yardage will stand.
There has to be confusion coming from the bench to the field about what their intentions are, because you guarantee they want the penalty, turn down that big yardage gained against them. Instead, they turn down the penalty, and the yardage stands.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll start at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, an NFC South matchup between Atlanta and Carolina. And that one getting close to halftime with the Falcons out in front. The Falcons locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. We'll stay in the NFC South as we head over to the Big Easy, check on the Saints at home at the Superdome. And for the moment, they trail the visiting Browns in that one. Josh Gordon, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's check in at our nation's capital, see what's happening with the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. In that game, level, as they take on the visiting Indianapolis Colts. In our game has been Aaron Rodgers, who was on target in the first half. He's thrown for nearly 300 yards already. As we get you back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now the Packers get set to go. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Rodgers to throw on second down. Flush to his right. Caught on the right side by Adams. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete. Pretty lucky to get the football back. Had his target out there waving the arms, saying I'm open, but maybe you didn't see him quick enough.
And I know the jokes are always about defensive backs' hands. What really actually happens, you don't get many opportunities. You get over anxious, and you start to think about taking it away and going the other way instead of focusing and catching the ball.
Sheldon Richardson there to make the play.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On third down, it's Williams. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Call it a loss to make it fourth down.
I don't know about you, partner, but I'm rubbing my eyes after that play. Did we just see that runner not get yardage? A big-time play by the defense. It does happen occasionally, even against the best running backs who are having big days.
A first down throw for Cousins. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down.
trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
He's going to sling this deep downfield. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on the other side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments, and you know what else?
This is caught inside the 15. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers continue to roll.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Crosby on now to kick it away. This will be taken about the 12. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Kenny Clark in there to record another sack, their 6th of the afternoon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Handoff comes to Cook, and his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Play action now. Cousins. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by the rookie corner, Jair Alexander. And he'll wind up losing 5 yards or so on the return, but no matter, they've got the football back. Well, why do you go out and spend a first-round pick on a defensive back? Plays like that. The rookie gets his first interception.
Exactly right, and you're trying to limit the number of plays and offense runs. You're trying to limit the number of possessions they have.
Now look out, Rodgers lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. And this
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, these are going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Kyle Rudolph, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
While Washington, Kirk Cousins had the pleasure of throwing to Jordan Reed at tight end for the last few seasons. And now that he's moved to Minnesota, he has Kyle Rudolph, who may not be quite as athletic as Jordan Reed, but still has excellent hands and knows how to make plays in the red zone.
Now Jones. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That could be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. And they'll go on the ground. And shedding through the tackle. Finding some room at midfield. And finally brought down at the 43. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side? Just taking care of business to make sure no one can get there and disrupt it.
Is the biggest key the left tackle?
Without a doubt. Control that edge. Get out there. You want that left tackle. If you bring your tight end over there, either way, control the edge of the line of scrimmage, you got a chance to rumble.
2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. And they'll run it here. And he stopped immediately there. Called it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, it's past me.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Anthony Barr in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And now out comes Minnesota. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Cousins now on 2nd down. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
On 3rd down, Cousins. Complete to right. And down he'll go at the 25. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
So while the offense has had a big day, no one on that side of the ball is excited about seeing a loss like that. Their goal, to make every play positive. And when you have a bad one like that, your next goal is to not let it spiral into more.
On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's already been in the end zone multiple times. Tried to target him again deep there, but unsuccessful. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 19 yards that time for number 19. Cousins now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Again, this is Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Wasn't that long ago that the NFL guys really didn't adopt much from the college game. But one thing that has crept in there is spreading things out, opening things up, not even just in tempo, but maybe getting better line splits and spreading the field. I think that would be a great strategy right now to try and open things up in the run game.
Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got to just pin their ears back and get after him now.
To throw is Cousins. And that is incomplete. Here's Ryan Quigley now. He's been terrific so far. With it is Jackson. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Again, it's Williams. And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. That'll go for a gain of 13, helping big time to get away from that end zone. 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Rodgers now to throw. And almost intercepted. It would have been his 2nd pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, and sometimes that just happens. It is the NFL. They will make some plays against you.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers rolling to his right. Now he's got him in. Complete. The 30. 10. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Rodgers on fire. His 5th touchdown pass of the ball game. And the Packers are pouring it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Crosby connects on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Crosby on now to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And out now comes the Vikings. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
So a change of possession here on the punt. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
that is
by the time
one
we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down. Rodgers now on 1st down. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Linval Joseph in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Throwing now is Rodgers. Oh, now he'll try and chuck it deep left side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. It was Andrew Sendejo from his strong safety spot able to make the play.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there.
Yeah, well, when you've got a guy over 150 yards, keep chucking it deep to him, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can get it to him short, and he can make plays that way, but I like what you just said. Throw it to him deep and get it in a big chunk.
But incomplete on that try. Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
All right, now here we go.
Cousins now to throw on 1st down. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. A gain of 6 there on 1st. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game, but here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up. Let the running game go a little bit. Let's get to the passing game, and if you still want to get in the hands of the runner, maybe you swing it to him, throw it to him a little bit, try it that way.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. The Vikings first down. Diggs able to find his way free and get the catch from Cousins.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Second down, Cousins. And complete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Cousins to his tight end Rudolph for a Viking first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
They'll run it again with Cook. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Clinton Dix there for the stop.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And that is incomplete. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
And Forbath will put this one through, and the drive will wind up yielding 3. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag? You just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He has had a whale of a game. In the 3rd quarter, you're already over 200 yards. I don't know what more he can do at this point.
Not a whole lot, and what he has found is that zone that we always talk about, where every carry feels great. Every carry potentially is a sprint to the end zone, and all he wants to do is ride it as long as this game goes on.
Yeah, now he's just thinking 300 yards maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot. Because we saw the catch there, right? He made it. He's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back.
We got 3 down.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
Eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
as they begin on the ground. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Oftentimes when you're not winning at the point of attack for an offensive line, maybe they're getting out physical. Spread things out a little bit, make it more of a one-on-one blocking scheme. Then you don't have to win it physically. You just have to win it by position. That may open things up for your running backs.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Again, it's Cook. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's good at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to...
Williams loses the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Four down, check, four down. Who got 17? Who got 17?
Now Rodgers throwing on second down. And that'll be incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
Now Rodgers. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Third down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And we'll see what he can do on the return. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
First down, here's Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Well, he made that catch knowing full well that at the end of it, he's going to catch a pretty good lick.
I guess if there's anyone on this team that can absorb a pop, it's him. Again, it's Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. A good pick up there, 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and goal now.
Of course, last year, you think about Dalvin Cook's injury in Week 4 with a torn ACL, just hoping that he can stay healthy in 2018.
And if so, we'll see plenty of runs that will be big time in 2018. Because in 2017, he took over the starting running back job as a rookie and was off to a terrific start. In fact, if you ask people in the Minnesota Vikings organization, they were giddy at the fact that they were able to get him outside of the first round and plug him into the lineup. They expect him to be big time in this season.
They'll come out in the pistol. Third and goal for Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
Running for it, here's Cook, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. 4th and goal, Charles. All the time you see those offenses, especially the quarterback, the running back, looking over the sideline saying, don't send the kicker out. There they did it, and it paid off.
It's really nice to see what they wanted actually done. And how about the coaches getting their faith rewarded by a touchdown?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
And his throw is incomplete. Trey Waynes, the Michigan State man, right there in coverage.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turned into a nice play.
On 3rd down, it's Williams. Oh, now he bowls him over. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
On the tackle, it's Trey Waynes.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. It's caught outright by Graham. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball,
Get a completion.
you get a catch,
Yeah.
but still
No
yardage. Okay.
It's a gain of 5, and now the question, will the offense stay out there on 4th and 1? This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of...
The Vikings turn up the heat, and they block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And he's He's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit.
Partners, you well know every block punt wasn't necessarily a called block. Sometimes the guy just finds his way back there. Doesn't matter. The play happens, and that one turned into 6 points because they handled it so well after the block.
That's fielded in the end zone. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He is north of 200 yards. Any time that you can say you're north of 200 yards, you've done something right.
Yeah, you're going to get some big check marks on your grade sheet, and you're going to be in heavy rotation on all the highlight shows, and you might even make a magazine cover or 2.
He's hoping for more, the cherry on top maybe, as this game goes forward.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Barthema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Here's Rodgers. Room here to run. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hit.
And this is caught. And he's brought down after a good gain. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now. Still throwing the...
Run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. And now they come up and spike it to stop the clock. Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. Touchdown, Packers. Jamon Moore, his 3rd touchdown of the season, all coming in this game. And the Packers add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is it bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
On 2nd down, Cousins again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury.
3rd and long for Cousins. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
On 1st and 10, Cousins to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. Give him a couple on the catch at 2nd and 8. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
And that is incomplete here.
Well, to say that this has not been his game is probably a big understatement. I mean, he is all over the place. Mechanics are off, not accurate, except if you're playing on defense, because they picked off a good number of passes.
Yeah, all the INTs, but they're throwing it off his back foot. Pressure coming, just chucking it downfield. He can't do that right now.
No, you can't do that at all. And I think one of the hardest things for a guy having a day like this one is to find a way to just kind of get out of it, kind of get yourself back to neutral. Because what you try and do is make even more spectacular plays to make up for it, and it usually leads to more bad ones. Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 11 more on that one and another first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game. Cousins on first down. He'll find Thielen, work in the middle, and he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
To the air again, it's Cousins. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Cousins again. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he gets it down to the 32. And a screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing, so they'll go for it on 4th down. They'll try and run for it with Brown. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Well, if it's 4th and 4, 4th and 5, maybe you think about the field goal there, but on 4th and 1, this is a way to tell your offense, hey, I believe in you. You can do this. And sure enough, they're going to pick up the first down.
He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Let's go, D, let's go.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And that's going to be incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but They took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And Forbath will put this one through, and high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Well, for a second there, I had flashbacks to a few years ago, the NFC Championship game for the Packers, but here they're able to hold on.
And many things changed in Green Bay after that game. Personnel, people coaching, the whole deal. And in this case, they get it done. No fail like they had in Seattle.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
In on the stop there, Andrew Sendejo. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football. Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield and giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
To throw his Cousins. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Well, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball, where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it. And on that play, you do it. So you got to steel yourself at that point because the contact is going to be strong.
Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field.
They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. Dancing to his left. He may try and run for this. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. A big pickup there. 20 yards as they convert on 4th. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column.
Let's go.
On first down, Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Anderson-Aho. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Cousins to throw it. He's going to let it fly. Oh, wide open, complete. And what can they do here on second and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Cousins. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down.
Tell you what, Brandon, if I see a dime look, if I see 6 defensive backs near the goal line, I'm changing to a running play every time.
And they had 6 there. Surprised he didn't audible at the line?
Very much so. I'm going to count on my offensive line in this situation against the lighter defensive backs and try to push it across the end zone that way.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys did not play offense.
Cousins on 3rd and 2. And now another one thrown incomplete. How about the defensive stand here from 1st and goal? 3 straight incompletion.
Yeah, I think people are wondering why didn't they try and run it at least once in there. But once the first incompletion happened, it's almost like they were committed to throwing the ball from then on out.
And Forbath will put this one through, and the drive will wind up yielding 3. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the Coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And with the clock ticking under 50 seconds now, he spikes it. The first down line at the 34 here on third down. Here's Rodgers to throw. Forced out to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him to first. Rodgers throwing here. Oh, he can't hang on. That was a dream chance for any D lineman to possibly get a pick. But instead it falls down incomplete.
Well, man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. Flushed out right. That's going to be caught. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Not only the completion, but that pass also gives him the record for most passing yards in a single game. What a day.
That tells you that the completion percentage is really high. Yards per pass, really high. But what a fantastic day. A brand new record, and we were here.
Crosby on now to kick it away. This will be taken short. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
So they look like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Cousins. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. One last shot now for Cousins. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Green Bay, they use the favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll fall to 1-1. And they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Buffalo Bills. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.